Hi there, my name is Chrissy Vinton, and this is my horse Hershey and my handler Allison. Today I'm going to be showing you different manual restraints that you could use to put on your horse. There's three different types of manual restraints. There is the verbal restraints, your physical restraints, and chemical restraints. You could use these restraints for a couple different things. If you're trying to work with your horse and it's in an unsafe condition, you could use manual restraints to help control your horse a little bit better, to kind of distract them from what you're actually doing. So that could be like clipping, vet work, if you're doing a wound care or like wrapping. So those are all different ways that you could use manual restraints. Restraints, you want to make sure that you have safety at all times. Safety is really key when using manual restraints. I'm never going to directly stand in front of him, so if he decides to run me over, I'm not standing there in his way. My handler is always going to stay on the same side as me, always going to have two hands on the lead rope, and it's going to have a firm hand on the lead rope, but isn't going to like let it slack down or fall onto the ground. And you also want to remember to not use the most harsh manual restraint when you first start. You kind of want to give the horse a chance to use the least amount of harshness that you can. So we're going to start with a verbal restraint to begin with. This can be the simplest, easiest, and the less harm. You can't really do anything to hurt them, and they're not really going to not like this per se. This could have a major effect on a horse. If you have a horse that's very kind-hearted and is going to get really upset if you yell at them, then they're most likely going to listen to you. But this could also cause other problems. If you have a horse that you're reassuring and they're not needing reassuring and you're just making it worse by overwhelming them. So if you do have that like soothing, reassuring tone, it could help calm them, make them more relaxed for whatever is happening. If you have more of that sharp and authoritative voice or tone of voice, you can get their attention and really say, you know, hey there. If you use that more aggressive tone of voice, sometimes just pulling down on the lead shank or lead rope will also help to get their attention. But you also got to remember not to get carried away when it comes to using verbal restraints. You don't want to be yelling at them. You don't want to be cussing at them. That's not going to do anything to the horse. So just a short, quick, attention-getting, hey would be plenty. The first method that you're going to use of your physical restraints is just a normal halter and lead rope. This is the easiest method of the physical restraints because you really don't need anything except for what you need for them on a daily basis. You want to make sure that your halter fits them correctly. You want to make sure it doesn't slide down on their nose or isn't too far up on their nose, and that it fits around their face and isn't hanging off of them. This is also one of the safest to use, only because you don't have anything extra on the horse. So if she was going to get after him, she would just pull down on the lead rope and use that aggressive tone of voice that she would need to use. Something to always remember though with the lead rope is you never want to wrap it around your hand or your body, because that could lead to a possible issue when you're using this restraint. So how to apply a chain shank or over the nose shank is you're going to come in. My handler's going to stay on the same side usually, but for today she's just going to stay on this side. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to come from the underside and I'm going to be very quiet with it so that it doesn't make a lot of noise like that. Oh. Then I'm going to come around. And I'm going to come from the inside like that. And then I'm going to clip up here with the clip on the outside like that. And I'm just kind of take the tension or the pressure out of the extra stuff. And you always pull down. And that's how you apply your chain shank. Then to take it off, you're just going to come back to this side. And my thing underneath. Unclip it. Slowly and not as noisy. Take it out of your loop, keep it in my hand so it's not pulling on his nose, and slowly take it out. And that's how you do your lead shank. So how to apply your lip chain is kind of like your lead shank, kind of not, but you're going to come in from this side and not underneath like you would for your chain shank. So you're going to come in from this side, take it all the way through, try not to make a lot of noise. Then I'm going to come around, come up through this one, ooh, And then I'm going to hook it again with the hook to the outside up on this upper ring. Just gonna kind of take my tension out of it. Then I'm gonna come back to this side. I'm gonna make sure I have this. I'm gonna tell my handler that I'm going to insert it. Then I'm going to take it in my hand like this. I'm gonna slightly pull up on his lip, and I'm going to pull down with the chain as it goes into his lip. You wanna make sure there's no twists, no turns, and that it's laying nice and flat, and you always pull down on that. And then to release it, I'm just gonna release my pressure, push it down underneath, walk back to this side, unclip from this upper ring, take it back through, ooh, come back around, and take it out of this one. And that's how you do your lip chain. So the next physical restraint that I'm going to show you is a lip twine. This is used just like a chain, but it's a piece of twine. A lot of the time people just use a piece of baling twine. It's really easy to find, really easy to get. You don't really have to go buy it or try and find it. It's usually in your barns. If you have just a single one that's pretty thin, it is pretty harsh if you do get to putting it in their mouth a lot. If you braid them together, it's a lot less harsh, so that's always good. Something that you have to worry about with these is all these little fraying pieces off of it that could cause some problems in their gum. Here in Western Barn, we have these really nice paracord braided ropes that we use to tie our feet back in our stirrups. And so we really like to use these because there's no frayed pieces off of it. It's nice and smooth, and it's braided, so it's going to be a lot less harsh. So how to apply your lip twine is pretty much like your lip chain, just with a piece of twine. So I'm going to go to this side first. And in Western, we have these nice little loop ones where you can stick it through and not have to tie a piece of twine. We don't have to worry about the fraying of the twine. So I'm just going to take it through and put my string through here and pull it down. And I'm just going to make sure it lays flat onto there. Then I'm going to come back to this other side. And I'm going to feed it through my loop here, just like I would with my chain. Kind of hold it in this hand. And then just like the chain, I'm going to hold it in my hand like this. I'm going to pull down with this hand. Just going to lift his chin and pull down on this slightly, just to get it in place. Then once it's in place, you always pull down and just hold pressure there, not like pulling hard. I just want to make sure that it's sitting right there in the gum line. And then to release, I'm just going to release my pressure and let it come out of his mouth. I'm going to put it back under his chin, take it out of this one, kind of wad it up in my hand so he doesn't try to eat it. And then just take it out of my loop here. And that's how you do your lip twine. The next physical restraint I'm going to show you is a neck twitch or a neck roll. This is something that you could do at any moment in time because it's really easy. All you need is you and your hand. And someone to hold your horse, and then for someone to do whatever you are wanting to do, whether it be clipping, wrapping, anything like that. It really just distracts them from what you're doing. When you roll their neck, they're going to sway away from you from the pain of grabbing their skin, and so it's really going to help to distract them and keep their mind on what you're doing to their neck and not for say what you're doing to their face if you're clipping or if you're wrapping, whatever you were doing. So to do a neck roll, all I'm going to do is take my hand, kind of right here in the middle of his neck, right about in there. I'm just going to grab the skin and roll it in my wrist. And as you can see, when I do grab it and roll, he sways his neck away from me, and that's kind of what you want. So you can really grab this and hold and squeeze as much as you really need to. It's not really going to hurt them. It's going to hurt your hand after a while. But as you can see, he doesn't really like it. It's distracting him from, for say, whatever my handler is doing. Or what somebody else, and then you just kind of rub it out to help him feel more relaxed and know that you're not going to do it again since he was listening. The next restraint I'm going to show you is what we call twitches. There's actually a couple different kinds of twitches. There's a twitch called the humane twitch. It's basically the same idea as the chain twitch or the twine twist. You could use it when you're doing solo work. It attaches to his halter so that you can put it on, attach it, and then do whatever you need to do. You don't have to have someone to hold it. The chain twitch basically has a chain for the loop, and then this is what we use at William Woods. It's just got a piece of braided twine around the top. So something to remember with the twitches is you never want to let go of it. Once this is on his lip and you let go of it, it becomes like a swinging weapon that's going to pretty much hit whoever, whatever is in its way. And then it also spooks him because he's got this thing dangling off of his lip. That could cause him problems as well. So we like the longer handle ones because we have a lot more control and grip. But again, if you do let it go, it's a lot more area and swinging radius that could possibly hurt someone. So how to apply your twitch, kind of already explained to you what we use the twitch for. Usually you'd want your handler for this one to especially be on the same side. So she's going to actually switch sides with me, just so she's a little safer. So we're both going to go to this side. We're going to make sure that we're standing off to the side of him. You don't want to be standing in front of him, anything like that. So I'm going to put the twitch like this with my pinky on the outside, so that I can easily get it off my hand. If I slide it like that without my pinky or anything there, it's going to slide down my hand and I'm not going to be able to get it off. So I'm going to have it like that. I'm always going to keep two hands on it. So I'm going to just grab his lip, start twisting after I get the piece of rope off of my hand. And then once I got it, I'm going to do two of these. I'm going to stand here with two hands. And then once whoever, the vet, you, whatever you're doing to him, to release it, you just untwist and kind of rub his nose to help get the blood flow back. And that's how you do your twitch. For a twitch, you put it on for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's really just a distraction and kind of a little bit of a pain to distract them from whatever else you're doing. Between 5 and 10 minutes, endorphins are released, which is going to help calm them and help you do whatever. Between 12 and 15 minutes is when you call it the blow stage, and that's when you could really cause damage to his lower lip and he's going to start feeling more pain, and that could ultimately cause more problems than the twitch itself. So after that 12 to 15 minutes, or between the 12 and 15 minutes, you need to make sure you take it off. The next restraint that I'm going to show you is a leg lift. You use a leg lift for a couple different reasons. For, say, if you were clipping their legs, or if you're bandaging or taking care of a wound, or if you're doing normal vet work. Sometimes you have to lift the leg up because a prancing horse that's not wanting to stand still, they're fidgety, this will help them to stand still. So when you do a leg lift, you only ever lift up a front leg. You never lift up a back leg due to horses being a lot stronger than you are. So for, say, if they're working on his right front leg, I'm always going to pick up his left leg and vice versa. But if they were working on a hind leg, I want to pick up the front leg that's on the same side. So if they're working on his left hind leg, I'm going to always pick up his left front leg. So to pick up their leg, I'm going to tell him that I'm there. I'm going to come down, ask him to pick his foot up, and then I'm going to make sure that I point his toe up. If his toe is pointing down, he has more leverage to get the foot away from me. So I'm going to make sure his toe is pointed up. I'm going to interlock my fingers, and I'm going to stand with a wide base so that if he does try to do something, I always have his foot, making sure it's pointed up. I've got my fingers laced and locked, my knees are bent, and I'm ready for him to move or even attempt to get his leg away if he's unhappy with whatever the vet or someone else is doing to him. And then I just let go of it, and that's your leg lift. So the last restraint that you could use is what we call a chemical restraint. This is kind of more of what the vets use. They can use it because it's fast, effective, and they can get what they need done well, and they don't have to worry about the horse giving them attitude or not wanting something done. Again, this is your last measure. You want to give the horse the most opportunity you can with a less harsher one instead of just going straight to your chemical restraints. There's 3 different kinds that we like to use. First one is ACE. You use 1 to 4 cc's, IV or IM. The next is Rompin. Again, that's 1 to 4 cc's, IV or IM. And the last is the ditomidine. And you're going to use 1/4 to 1/2 cc's, and you only use that one in IV. They can be mixed to kind of do like a little cocktail if you need to for a horse, but that's kind of up to your vet, and your vet will usually administer that. So I've showed you different verbal, physical, and chemical restraints today. I hope that these videos are helpful, and I'd like to thank my handler and my horse for helping me demonstrate these, and I do really hope that these are helpful.